Welcome to the Sue and Spanky podcast. The dogs are they're something else, so just bear with us. They're going to be chewing in the background, and they're constantly climbing in between the cords. So that's going to be fun. But welcome to another episode. I believe this is our 7th episode. We're celebrating, I think, over 100 downloads, which is huge for us because we're starting from scratch. And this is completely a little bit out of my niche. I still talk about Sue, of course, but we also talk about other things like marriage and funny stuff that we encounter and just life in general. And do some behind the scenes with Sue as well. So we're so happy to have you here. We have some interesting topics today. As you can see, we are traveling. We are in an Airbnb. This is not our place. It's very pretty, though. I love staying in Old City in Knoxville, so that's where we're at right now. We are doing some brand deals. We're having a good time, although I am exhausted. I had clinical all day. I am doing clinicals to become a nurse practitioner, and so I'm here for that. I'm also doing these brand deals, filming, trying to keep up with my social media, get everything going like perfectly. I'm a perfectionist. It's exhausting, you know?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how you're doing it.
I'm exhausted, and I want to keep the audience going, so that's why they're on my live. But I hate that I couldn't do Sue's Shitline. Sue's Shitline is usually every Tuesday at I forget what time I even go live right now, 6 or 7. And we have a good time. It's actually becoming Sue's Shit Show, but right now it's still Sue's Shitline. I just talk to my followers. They can call in. We can talk about quit licking the drink. Talk about literally anything they want to talk about. Give advice. Just listen to them. Banter with them in Sue Dillon style.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite shows. It's very laid back. Very, very laid back. So I'm really bummed that I'm missing it, but it is what it is.
I love that about it, how free form it is.
Yeah, it's like it's refreshing because I feel like Sundays with Sue can be very,
Yeah, it's very fast paced.
Yeah, it's like it's a certain type of thing. But my husband is here with me. I'm so happy. I've been missing my husband so much this semester because I've been traveling. Every other week I leave home and I just stay by myself or with my aunt. But I do like to stay in Airbnbs in Old City. That's like my favorite place in Knoxville to stay.
Love Old City.
We're staying with a host that we really like. Although this is not my favorite one I've ever stayed at. It's not really, you're able to bring your dogs, but it's not necessarily little dog friendly because there's like a railing where the dogs could fall through on the second floor. They could fall off of it. And the stairs are wooden. It's not good for dachshunds, stairs in general. The couch is high off the ground. The bed is high off the ground. If you had a big dog, it'd be fine, but it's not good for little dogs. So we've kind of been on edge. We have like everything barricaded so they have to stay in a certain area. They're kind of like feisty dogs, so you can't necessarily lock them up in like a
like in a bathroom.
In a bathroom, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm so happy you're here. I'm just saying hello to my audience. I'm live right now, double dipping right now. Thank you for being here.
Double dip.
We're filming the Sue and Spanky podcast right now, and you can catch it on YouTube every Wednesday at 10 a.m. or on any platform that streams podcasts. We do have it on YouTube if you want to watch the video, but you don't have to. You don't have to watch it at all if you don't want to. I know y'all won't hold back. But anyway, I'm really happy to have my husband here. Miss him so much. I miss my dogs. I've been kind of sad, honestly. Kind of sad being away.
It's hard to be away from home.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a homebody, like I am, and like I feel like you are too.
I'm an introverted homebody. Yeah. And I am so energy depleted. Like, everything I have done today has sucked the energy out of my soul.
It's been a long day too.
It's been a long day, but it's fun. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm having a good time, but I am definitely the type of person that needs to recharge in silence. And I haven't had any silence.
Like Frankie. That's how he is.
Yes. This bean. I wish y'all could see Frankie. He's so sweet. Mm-hmm. Which I think that's surprising to people that I'm a homebody because Sue Dillon is not. And
it's like they see what you're capable of and they just assume.
Yeah. I was talking about that in therapy. She was like, it's really interesting that you're so shy and you have like such social anxiety, yet you're an influencer slash whatever you would call what I am. I don't know if you would call it an influencer. That's the best way I can describe it. Comedian, influencer, I don't know.
I say influencer.
But it is interesting. But that just goes to show you it's all fake AF.
Nothing is real.
Nothing is real on the internet. I feel like it's acting, but I am being myself in a way.
Yeah.
You can be outgoing and introverted,
Yeah, no, definitely. Maybe
but
there's
also shy.
maybe there's different parts to you as well. And
Yeah.
maybe that's true for everyone.
That's true. It's really interesting to like learn more about myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you consider yourself introverted or extroverted?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, sometimes I feel like both, but I really feel like at the end of the day, I do like to kind of be to myself in my space, with just me, the wife, and the dogs at the house. I feel like that's my baseline.
I feel like that's why we kind of get along a lot because we're not like pressuring each other to go out all the time.
Definitely. I will say I feel like I'm more comfortable talking to a stranger. I will say. Because I feel like in public I can like banter with the guy in front of me in the checkout line.
Yeah, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
That's where you're different.
I'm not too annoying because I'm not the annoying guy who's like, oh, I noticed you don't have many bananas, but I feel like it's tasteful.
Yeah. That's why you were a good RA.
Thank you for that.
Because you can talk to whoever. I was a decent RA. I was just more... My love language to my residents was doing things for them, not necessarily
right,
like making them feel welcome by talking to them.
Definitely.
I did talk to them, but like that wasn't my strength.
And conversely, I did almost nothing for my residents. I did not do very great programs. My bulletin boards were nothing to write home about, but I was there. My door was open, and I would chat with them, and I would eat with them.
Program of the month right here. I didn't get of the year, but I got of the month. I was so happy.
What program was that again?
It was the one, it said it was hashtag goals.
Oh, yeah.
It was hashtag goals, yeah. And it was around New Year, and we all made goals, and we sealed the envelope, and you would read them the next year. And I mailed them to people. I mailed them to people in the next year. I did not forget to do that. That was bomb AF.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes, welcome to my podcast. I'm updating TikTok again. This is the difference between TikTok and pods. Is that on TikTok you have to constantly repeat yourself because new people come in all the time. It's not their fault. But like when you're doing a podcast, you're just like blah 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 and blah because you
kind of have them from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, even though I've been here doing school, and like you would think doing school would kind of make you separate from your spouse a little bit because it's so much time. It's been nice having you in school with me. Spanky's in school right now too. We're both going to the same school in grad school, not the same content, but he's studying law. I'm studying nursing. I'm going to be a nurse practitioner, and he's going to have a master.
That'll be something. Master of Legal Studies.
Master of Legal Studies, which is pertinent to his job, but I'm really excited. I'm only a semester away from my doctorate, which shocks people sometimes because I act so foolish online.
I can taste it.
I've been getting emails and it's like Dr. Gray, and I'm like, oh, that's not me yet. But like, I'm glad that you're warming it up.
Yeah, you definitely have to get used to it.
Yeah. Which, in the medical setting, I won't be a medical doctor, so I will not go by doctor. I don't think, just because it's confusing. But if I'm in the academic setting, I will go by Dr. Gray.
I feel like that's appropriate because I feel like, and we've talked about this before, no one is always doctor. No. You know what I mean? Like you can be a doctor of, I don't even know what history.
Right.
And if you're on a plane and someone has a heart attack and they're like, is anyone a doctor? You're obviously not going to raise your hand.
No.
You know what I mean? Whereas if you're in a museum and they're like, oh, do you have your doctorate? And you're a medical doctor, you'd probably be like, I'm not the guy you're looking for.
Although I will say, the only time I would consider going by Dr. Gray is in a psych hospital because...
Of course.
That's my specialty. And arguably, if someone coded... This is no shade to psychiatrists, by the way. If someone coded, with my experience, would know how to run the code. I have my ACLS.
Of course.
I've done it before. They've never done it, most likely, unless they did it on the residency, because you have to go all kinds of places on your residency no matter what concentration you end up in. That's the point of residency, is to figure that out. But as a nurse, I worked in an ICU and I ran codes.
I mean, if someone codes or has a heart attack in public, everyone's always like, "Oh my God, is anyone a doctor?" I think you'd almost be better off saying, "Is anyone a nurse?"
That's what my point is. Yeah,
Please, can we please
I'm
get
not
a
a
nurse?
medical doctor, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's misleading, because I feel like I would have the knowledge to be called Dr. Gray in that setting because it's my specialty.
I agree.
But like if I work in a hospital that's general, I think going by Dr. Gray could be misleading, because while I do know how to run a code, a medical doctor that works in a real hospital would be better off doing it than me, even there. But I will say, I think I may be a little bit more successful with it in the psych hospital just from my experience working in one. But that's no shade to them at all. It's a hot topic, like, should nurse practitioners go by a doctor or not? And so that's like my take on it. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I think people get way too mad about it.
I think
and
that's very fair and professional.
Pride gets in the way with both sides. But for me, it's not necessarily a pride thing. I definitely don't want to confuse people. And I always go by Sarah anyway. I can't imagine. It's like a power trip. Call me Dr. Gray. It's Dr. Gray to you.
I had a professor in college like that. Someone called her Professor. I don't even remember her name. And she was like, "Actually, it's Doctor."
Yeah.
It's just like on Austin Powers. "I didn't go to evil medical school to be called Mister."
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's about like that.
Yeah. I'm not an NP right now. I'm a nurse, registered nurse. But a lot of programs for nurse practitioners now, you can go straight through and get your doctorate. It's longer, but it's like double what the length of time is to just get your master's. But I just decided to do it just because. No shade if you just want to get your master's. There's no pay difference. So I just thought, I don't know. I wanted to do it for various reasons. I'm not going to bore y'all with them. Anyway, enough talking about boring bullshit. Let's talk about our drink. Ooh, my phone fell.
Better that than the drink.
Every week we try a new drink. Right now, shout out to Ryan Claire Day.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. You can comment on the podcast, not necessarily on TikTok because I'm going to miss it. You can comment on the pod what drinks you think we should try.
We'll try to find them.
Yep. Ryan Claire Day suggested looking at the wall at Cracker Barrel. For those of you that don't have Cracker Barrel, it was founded in Tennessee, in Lebanon, Tennessee, actually, where we were from.
Hometown
Vibes. And there's so many drinks to choose from.
It's old timey. They have it's a restaurant with an old timey store attached.
They're not alcoholic always. Sometimes they're alcoholic. We've had way too much whiskey. We don't need any more alcohol.
We did a whiskey taste run. What do they call it? A flight.
Yes.
A whiskey flight.
This is Vernor's.
It's a Michigan-based ginger ale, and it's called the Original Ginger Soda. And I think you're familiar with the account that I really like, Old Time Hawky, the guy who's like, "Well, hello, buddy."
Yes,
and he does peaceful things in the woods with his dogs. Yeah, we love him. And whenever he's like, "How about a cold pop?" This is more often than not the cold pop.
This one?
Yeah, this one right here, because it's Michigan-based, and he's up in Michigan.
That's really cool.
And this is, I guess, his favorite soda. So, Old Time Hawky, if somehow you see this, huge fans, we love you. Please keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I didn't clink. There we go. That's better.
That's a good pop.
I didn't expect to like it because I don't usually like ginger ales just for the hell of it. That's smooth.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
It's like a Canada Dry, but 10 times better.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. Verner's. Shout out Verner's. Michigan-based.
That's delicious.
That's good.
We're not from Michigan. We are from Tennessee, but that is delicious.
It's delicious.
We really want to visit the Upper Peninsula in Michigan.
So want to go to the Upper Peninsula. That's where he's from.
Like, not in the winter, though. No.
Probably not going to go in the winter, because we're from Tennessee and we're not accustomed to. How many snows would you say we get a year? Two,
Maybe two, and they're not always real
maybe.
snows. Sometimes they're just icings.
We really get a lot of ice
Yeah.
more than anything. But I don't know what I would do in like feet of snow. I'd
No.
probably, I don't know. It wouldn't be pretty.
No, that would be a hot mess. All right. So you mentioned that you wanted to talk about our favorite conspiracy theories. So you go first since you want to talk about this so bad.
Okay.
So I'm sure yours are way better. You have a lot that you've taught me, so I'm sure that ours will overlap, but you probably already know what my favorite one's going to be, so I want you to go first.
I have quite a few that I like, and this one that I keep coming back to. It's the mystery of the Sodder children. Have you heard? If I told you about this one, it's this family back in, and if you haven't heard of it, look it up. Sodder children, Sodder. It was this family of the mom and dad came from Italy. Okay, they had 10 kids in America. Christmas Eve, 1945. There's a house fire. Okay, and one thing leads to another. They escape the fire. The two parents and 4 of their children. 5 of their children don't make it out of the fire. Okay, and they tried to. And on the surface, you look and you say, oh, well, they burnt up in the fire. Okay. But the more you look at it, the more you're like, there's so many things that don't make sense. Like the father tried to move his truck and climb up the truck to get in their window. Okay. But the truck wouldn't start. It had started the day before. Well, he had another truck. He tried to move that one. It wouldn't start. Well, he had a ladder that he used on his property, and the ladder was missing. And their phone line had been cut, and so many other just random little things.
I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, and then when they were digging through the wreckage, they found an incendiary grenade and just all these other little things. And then when they finally excavated the land, they didn't find any human remains whatsoever. And they talked to a crematorium and all these experts who were like, even if there was a house fire and it burned hot for quite some time, it still wouldn't be hot enough to melt like human bones. They're like, there are bones in the human body that whenever someone gets cremated, they have to be crushed with a special grinder because they can't hardly be melted.
Could you imagine the person that has to do that?
That would suck.
Yeah.
That would be very unfortunate. But they were like, there's just no way that their children, if there's no remains, then their children weren't in there. So there are many, many theories stating that they were kidnapped.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Many theories.
But where would they be at right now? Would they be dead or would they be alive? What do you think?
I think because this was in 45, okay? The youngest kid who was kidnapped would be in their 80s, if not closer to 90, probably than 80, okay? And most people, there's all kinds of theories. Some people say the mafia was involved because they were Italian immigrants. They were in a very Italian, sizable minority Italian town. The father had a few enemies. So some people say the mafia. Some people say, some sort of a older form of human trafficking might have been to blame, but organized crime, maybe just someone with a grudge against the family. No one knows.
Someone said, was their insurance a payout?
Insurance actually factors heavily into the story. If you want to go look into it, there was an insurance salesman who came by the house a few months before the attack. Okay, this isn't no lie. This is a direct quote. He tried to be like, hey, you need to get your kids insured. And the father was like, I'm not interested. We're not made of money. And, I'm not interested. Thank you for coming by. And they got in an argument about it. And the insurance salesman, who is also Italian, was like, I hear you've been making dirty remarks about Benito Mussolini, the fascist dictator over in Italy. And the dad was like, yeah, I hate Mussolini, so what? And the insurance salesman basically said, your god-dang house is going to go up in smoke, and you're never going to see your kids again. You're going to pay for all these dirty remarks you've been making about Benito Mussolini.
Damn. So it was totally him.
So it was probably him. And then they had a jury of locals who determined whether or not the fire was an accident, and they ruled that the fire was an accident. And guess who was on that jury of locals? The insurance salesman.
As y'all can hear, the train is in the background. I'm not dissing your story. I've heard it before, and it is insane. And I do think the kids were taken.
Look it up, because there's a lot of people who are like, no, they just burned.
Yeah. But I have this random thing I need to get off my head, because if I don't, I'm going to lose it, lose the thought. So the train is in the background because we are literally right next to the train tracks. Old City was built in the 1800s right next to the train track as like somewhere to load the train, somewhere to do like warehouse type of work for stuff that would need to be shipped. And so all of these places have been preserved rather. And their businesses, also Airbnbs, apartments. We're actually staying in an apartment complex, I believe. What it is really, but it's like it's really nice.
Like they say, old city. You know, it's pretty old around here.
I love historical homes. I love historical places. Like it just is. It just always feels so homey to me. I'm drawn to it for sure.
For sure.
We almost bought an old Victorian home, but it didn't work out.
We came close.
We were so close. I was begging him. He was like, "No, we're gonna end up.
Like we can't do it.
We're gonna lose everything because we would have to do so much work to it. We didn't know we would have to do so much work to it until after we were already attached.
Well, we had to get it inspected too, and some things came up on the inspection, and
Yeah,
it is what it is.
But anyway, my favorite conspiracy theory is less deep than yours.
Okay, I already know what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
It's the Chuck E. Cheese conspiracy. It's the Pizzagate.
Pizzagate. I think those might be different things, actually. I think there's another Pizzagate that's not appropriate.
Oh.
Yeah, but...
This one that I'm talking about is the one where Chuck E. Cheese recycles slices of pizza because usually there's leftovers because kids usually eat it, you know? So there's going to be leftovers because kids are picky sometimes and kids don't eat as much. They take it to the kitchen, act like they're going to throw it out, but they just Frankenstein the pizza together, mix match it.
With pieces that don't fit.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm thinking mainly with pepperoni because it's probably one of the most popular, or cheese. I don't think they could do it with all the other ones, but...
You don't think they could culminate enough slices of like Supreme?
I've thought about this in depth. No, I don't think they could. So they probably just throw those out. But they reheat it so the cheese will melt together, but the pepperoni slices, they don't match. You can tell they were cut at different times because the pepperonis were placed in different spots of the pizza, so they don't match. Okay. The edges don't match. I've asked people that work at Chuck E. Cheese, or that used to, and they've denied, but I think that they probably have to.
How many workers have you met that...
Really actually, I think I've met 2. One I worked with as a nurse, and she was like, "What? Absolutely not." I was like, "Well, did you work in the back?" And she was like, "Well, no." And I was like, "Well, then you don't know."
So your theory is that the employees who do know are so under the thumb of their former employer, Chuck E. Cheese, that they will be like, "No, it's made up. It's not true," even though they know it is.
Oh yeah.
Why are they hiding? What are they afraid?
I have no idea.
It runs deep.
It probably does. I mean, how is Chuck E. Cheese still open after COVID?
When I was a kid, I did not want anything to do with Chuck E. Cheese. So
I vividly remember being in that little jungle gym thing at Chuck E. Cheese, and someone shat in there, and there was like literal shit in the tube.
Was it a child or a parent?
I think it was a child.
Child-sized?
I don't remember. I just remember smelling it so potently and like having to reverse and have people move so that I could get out because it was like stacked. I was like, I am not climbing over the shit. Y'all can have fun with it. I'm not doing it. And that's when everybody probably got pink eye.
That's despicable.
I hate stuff like that.
Stuff like human excrement in a public place?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That was traumatizing for me.
Interesting theory, though, about the pizza. We'll see. Mm. I'll get my people right on that.
Mm-hmm. So moving on to something completely unrelated.
Can't get over this.
The Vols versus Alabama game. We are Tennessee Vols. We bleed orange. We are from Tennessee. It would be weird if we didn't go for Tennessee. People that go for Alabama that have always lived in Tennessee are bandwagoners.
They're fakes. That's
Fake AF. Go live in Alabama.
Yeah, if you like Alabama so much, why don't you just head down there?
Yeah.
But there was a game recently, a football game. I don't even remember the score, but there have been some remarks made about the officiating.
We were holding our own up until like the halftime.
Mm-hmm. But there have been some remarks made about the officiating, about the referees maybe not being as impartial as they could be.
They were from Alabama.
Were they really?
Some of them were.
Oh, my God.
And so it seemed like they were making calls for Alabama.
Yeah. I just feel like in general, referees, I just feel like in general they're not under enough scrutiny.
No. How could you be so unbiased?
Across the board in sports, they make some very questionable calls, and they have a lot of discretion. It's this way in baseball too with umpires. They
Mm-hmm.
make some horrible calls, and they can slow down the footage and be like, I think he was wrong, but if the ref said it, hey, if the ump said it, hey, that's it.
There's got to be some kind of judicial system for that.
They're just like, well, we don't have time to review every single. That's why you get challenges in football. I challenge that call, but you only get so many, and it's, I don't know. Like you say, though, there's got to be some better way to be more judicious about these things.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, I'm sure, biases.
Oh, yeah. We're all human.
I'm not much of a diehard sports fan. I like sports, but I'd still make a bad ref because there's still teams that I hate, and I couldn't be impartial about them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Winston, sit up. It's okay. He drooled on my pants.
I just think that we were leading until the calls went bad.
I think a day of reckoning is coming with referees, umpires, the whole nine. I think there's going to be like a scandal where they reveal like, hey, there's been like, I don't know what the sport's going to be. Maybe it'll be college football, but they're going to be like, hey, there's been like a not insignificant amount of fraud, like organized bad calls.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. I feel like a lot of people felt this way. I don't think it's just me being a sore loser. I feel like it was a common thing said across the board, and it's not always. Like sometimes Alabama does just beat us, but this time I felt like it wasn't like that.
Well, in Alabama, sometimes they get bad calls made on them too. Sometimes you look at it and you're like, how the heck could anyone rule that way? You know, I think they played Georgia a couple years ago, and there were some crazy calls there that people were like, what the heck? So they're as much a victim of it as anybody else.
Yeah. Just this specific game. It's about this specific game.
Yep, exactly.
But anyway, moving on to more Sue Dillon related stuff.
Bring it.
We have a Q&A, and we also have somebody asked me specifically to do a tutorial on The Voice, which I've done a few times.
This is The Voice.
The Voice. A lot of people know how to do it, but some people don't.
You should go on The Voice.
As Sue?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear me sing, God. But the Sue voice, a lot of people know how to do it. Some people still don't. I think it's partially like the anatomy of your throat. My husband cannot do it.
Still don't know how. I cannot do it.
I've tried to teach him.
Try and try.
I've taught many people, but he just cannot do it. But all you're doing is inhaling and talking. That's a simple way to do it. I kind of like maneuver my throat a certain type of way, like I kind of close it in a way. I can't explain it. And you activate your voice box. Like even if your mouth is closed, you can activate your voice box. Try to do that. No, like just out like. Frankie's looking at me. Now you're just doing it in. You're doing it.
Am I doing it?
Yes.
Wow, this is it.
Are you still breathing out though?
This is it.
Are you breathing in?
I think I'm breathing. No, I'm breathing out.
Yeah, that's your issue. You have to suck in.
Okay.
And that's why I burp all the time, because I like swallow air.
Right.
You have to control your breathing.
I feel like I'm taking in too much air at
You
once.
have to have good breath control. It's like a slow drizzle of air in your throat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, honey.
Yes, honey.
Some people can't hold it that long, and I think that's where the anatomy comes in. I feel like there's some kind of weird thing with my throat that's not normal, because my grandma can do it too, and certain people, I've met people that can do it for just as long as me, but it's rare.
Your entire family claims to be able to do it, but they don't all do it as well as you.
Yeah.
I think it might also be because you were a swimmer, and your breathing and your lung capacity.
And I'm like a runner, and
it's different. It's superior to mine.
the conditioning is there, so I can go without breathing as often. I don't know if it's bad for my voice. I don't think it is. I've spoke to people that are professionals, and they say no. I've spoke to a doctor, and he said no. My voice hasn't changed at all. I've always done it my whole life, really.
True.
Maybe not to this level, like not all the time like I'm doing currently. Although it waxes and wanes. Like if I produce a viral video, I do it a lot. Probably more than I should. Because my orders go up. Like, and I'm doing it every day.
It's just the way it goes. Can you sing in The Voice?
Oh, yes. You've heard me sing.
In The Voice?
this little light of
Well, that's just you talking.
mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Is that not singing?
I guess it's singing, yeah.
What's a song that I could sing that you would consider?
Achy breaky heart.
Don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart.
Okay, yeah, that is singing. I've heard you do that.
I've sang.
It just sounds so much different than your normal singing voice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, it's just like cartoon voices. Like, I cannot do the SpongeBob voice like the guy that does SpongeBob does. And he does
Yeah.
a certain thing.
Yeah.
And
He
it's
like
something
hits his
in
throat.
something in his throat too, though. It's like the way his chords are.
Yeah. Or it's like the lady who does Bart Simpson. That's a woman.
Really?
Yeah, Bart Simpson.
I didn't know that.
So she does a lot of voice. She does like 20 very famous cartoon voices.
That's really cool.
The one who
Didn't
does
know that.
Bobby Hill, that's a woman. Yeah, and no one ever gets on their case and is like, hey, doing that voice, it's gonna change your voice permanent. Like that's
Mhm.
just voice acting. Like if you look at these voice actors, they don't talk anything. Not some of them do, okay, but a lot of them don't talk anything like their characters, and no one's sitting here saying, oh, you're gonna damage your voice or whatever. So
No, and I think it does. Like the guy that did SpongeBob, I think he did have like he couldn't do it after a certain point, didn't he? Wasn't that true, or was that not?
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Maybe it wasn't that guy. Maybe it was somebody else. But I swear that was said about somebody. I don't know. But I wouldn't do it if it did hurt me. I don't want the clout that bad. I don't.
Understand.
But it doesn't hurt me. Every now and then I get acid reflux and stuff more so than I would, I think, because like I said, I'm like swallowing air and burping more. But that's only if I'm already suffering from it. Like I
Yeah.
do have acid reflux at baseline. So if I'm like in a flare up, it makes it worse.
And that's often tied to stress.
Yeah.
You're not infrequently stressed.
Right, just because of school and everything right now.
Exactly.
But honestly, I don't do it every day unless I'm just pounding out the prank call requests. And right now it's a slow time.
Yeah.
This happened last year on the same time. I think it's just the algorithm. I don't know. I hope it's not my content. I hope my content doesn't suddenly suck.
I don't think it does.
I thought this last year and I was going to quit. And I'm glad I didn't. So I try not to get mad about it and just enjoy the break.
Yeah. Everything comes in a season.
And I'm still having fun. And I just remind myself that you're doing this to have fun. And that's all that matters. Like, but the perfectionist in me is like, why the hell are you failing? But I'm trying to rewire that thought process. I think that's common with like creators too. I think that sometimes you create some really cool stuff and you're like, how am I ever going to top that? How am I ever going to top that? How am I going to keep it going?
Yeah.
It's just going to get old. And maybe it does get old for a little bit, but you'll get your pizzazz back, I think. That's what I tell myself to go to sleep at night anyway.
Definitely. I definitely think it just comes and goes in waves. And sometimes one thing's popular and sometimes it's not. And you just keep doing what you enjoy and keep putting out the content you want to put out, and your people will find you.
Yeah, and something is going on. Someone said TikTok is broken. I kind of agree right now because of it's just like these ad things. Like if you're not part of TikTok shop, and if you're not promoting something, you're not going to get pushed out. And that's just not. I did join TikTok shop.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to play their game.
Yeah.
But I don't want that to become the sole purpose of my page. And it won't.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get back up on the algorithm and doing what I can,
Simple.
Yeah.
I just don't like how they moved the shop icon to where my homepage icon used to be.
No, and you you go to it all the time when you don't want to.
Yeah. I don't like deceptive advertising. It's something I don't like.
Yeah.
I just hate that, where they trick you into clicking on it.
Yeah. I don't like it either. But enough dissing TikTok because we're on TikTok Live. But y'all get it. Y'all understand. I know you understand. So let's talk about the meanest comments
Oh, man.
you've ever read on my page.
You go first.
There's still mean ones. The ones that bother me currently, which we'll get on to the meanest. I need to think about that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that bother me so bad are when someone says something negative and then like 100 people like it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
What are you
why is
people
everybody
doing?
against me?
What are y'all doing?
But then
Yeah.
there's like 200 other nice comments on the same video. So
Yeah.
I'm just definitely like tunnel visioning on that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, who is liking this? Are these my followers liking this comment? Do they not like this? That makes me really upset because everything I do is to please my followers. So like obviously that doesn't feel good
Yeah.
to let them down.
Straight up.
So those bother me. Like someone said something about the grandma video that I posted about like me pretending. It was yesterday that I posted it. It was me pretending to be somebody's grandma. And the call, like, also,
yeah.
nobody ever has backstory to the call when they
No.
make these assumptions, which is so annoying.
Yeah.
But they're like, what if their grandma was dead? Which I'm like, that happens, you know. Sometimes I do bring up a dead family member, but I don't like make it the sole theme of the call unless they ask for it.
And they don't see that you were requested to make that call and pretend to be someone's grandma. That's someone requested that. If their grandma's dead, that's on them.
And
They
it was this
requested
kid's
it.
mom. Like,
Yeah.
why would she do that?
Yeah. They don't have the full story.
No.
People don't.
And so that really gets under my skin because I'm like, I just feel misunderstood. And I'm like, do you really think I would do that? Do
Yeah.
you think that's what I would do? Like,
Exactly.
but
It's absurd.
some of it is people that are just miserable. I do think that for sure. And it's like how they get a release from that negative energy in a way. Although I don't think I've ever done that.
What, the mean comments?
I don't think I've ever, even before I was a TikToker and I just
Yeah.
watched it for fun.
Yeah.
I literally don't think I've ever left a mean comment just to be mean.
There's no point.
No, it's ugly.
It's ugly and weak.
It's okay to disagree with somebody, don't get me wrong. But just being blatantly rude, I don't like it.
I agree.
The meanest one, I just can't think of the meanest one right now.
That's
I guess I kind of let them go.
Good. Heck yeah.
But like the ones that bother me are like, this isn't even funny.
Yeah, this isn't even funny. Do people actually
Okay.
like this?
Yeah.
I don't know, buddy. Maybe look at how many people, like the thousands of likes and the other comments that are nice. I guess you're the weirdo. Who
Something
doesn't
that
like it?
this doesn't make me mad, but it's something that like makes me LOL in my head on live. Occasionally is when I'm like doing my live and I don't watch my comments on live. I used to and it really messed with my head, so I just don't.
Yeah.
I'll like occasionally glance and I'll look at the pinned ones and every now and then I'll see one just by like looking, but I'm not like reading them constantly. But anyway, I'll see someone say, she's charging y'all for this? I can do this for free. Just come to my live. I'm going to go live now and do it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're poaching my customers.
Bye-bye.
This is how you're like not even customers, my
Yeah.
fans.
Which is stupid. Everyone
I'm
thinks they
like-
can do it better.
I'm like, why are you on my page saying you can do it better? Why don't you just go do it better and let them come to you?
That's like if you're at a restaurant and you're like, oh, they poured you a glass of whiskey? I can go back there and I'll do it for half that.
Yeah,
Pal, you don't work here. This isn't your thing.
right.
You go do that somewhere else. I
Right.
don't know. It's just so annoying.
Or go do your prank calls. That's fine.
Go get your bag. Go do you.
Don't take my people with you. Just do it and get your own. Get your own.
It's just weird.
Go
dude.
get your own. But it doesn't make me mad. I'm just like, you think, I mean, I just think it's funny. Like, I'm like, obviously I've built a fan base and like, I built a community.
Put in the hard work that goes into doing that and being niche and brave and kind of doing your own thing and blazing your own path.
And they're like, this is nothing. It's fine.
This is nothing. Yeah, it looks easy now. Have you seen how much hard work got me to where I could get to put it on autopilot like this? And
Yeah.
even still, it's not autopilot. It's still hard.
I remember when I first started doing live and I was so nervous all the time. I was like shaking. I was like shaking on live. You remember that?
I remember that.
And like people were mean.
Oh, they were horrible.
They were so mean. Just like telling me I should quit, telling me I'm copying a certain somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that's over.
Bye-bye.
What is the meanest one that you could remember? Can you even remember?
I don't know. I only remember recent ones. But,
Like what?
oh my God. Like you say, do people actually find this funny? Or the one where you posted and were like, oh, me and Spanky used to be exes, and then someone said, enjoy your McDonald's fries. And you were like, what are you talking about? And he was like, McDonald's fries never taste the same heated up. And
That
I'm
was so
like,
mean.
you look at their page, His profile pic is a meme. He has no videos, and he has like 5 followers. And I'm like, I'm sorry I can't be cool like you. You know, I'm sorry that I'm not some completely invisible person who just posts negative comments on other people's stuff and just is completely untouchable. You know, like,
Yeah.
you're just a coward. It's so annoying.
Honestly, the meanest comments I've ever gotten are not even on TikTok. They're on Instagram. Instagram is evil.
Instagram is an absurd crowd. There are some people on there who are so dang mean. I have gotten some mean comments on there just being on your page. Yeah.
The first video I posted that went viral-ish.
The one of you and your sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, oh God, that was so mean.
My sister is gay. She says to call her gay.
She says lesbians just not a term she
It doesn't roll
really
off the
goes
tongue
by.
for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were so mean to my sister.
The trolls came out, dude. It was absurd. And all of them were the same, dude. No profile picture, no nothing.
And they were a lot of them were foreign people.
I think a lot
from
of
other
them,
countries.
I think a lot of them are bots.
And men from other countries.
Yeah.
And they were commenting on my sister's weight. They were commenting on my appearance, how I look like a trans person, which does hurt my feelings because I was born a woman. I like to think I look like I was born a woman. Not that trans people are ugly. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
They say it with intent
to hurt my feelings.
to hurt your feelings. They don't say it from a place of acceptance or from being nice. They say it because they know that they're trying to hurt your feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were making fun of your sister's weight. They were making fun of her sexuality. They were saying that we were all a bunch of degenerates and just all kinds of very hurtful things about our character and everything else.
Yeah. And I was like, this was supposed to be innocent. I did not want this and I even was like, I'm going to delete it. My sister was like, no, don't delete it.
It's the most annoying thing ever because there are tens of millions of posts on Instagram. You can keep swiping until your finger falls off, and yet you choose to find this one and just take the time to say something negative.
Yeah.
It's such a waste. If you don't like it, just keep scrolling.
Yeah. But that seems like what it is. Like when someone comments on an Instagram post, it's always going to be like half the comments will be negative.
You're gonna get some hate on Instagram. It's inevitable.
And then the next one that was even worse not for my sister. That one was by far the worst hate I've ever gotten on a post ever.
Yeah.
It was just ruthless, evil comments, hurtful, damaging comments. But the one of me joking, saying that Jared Leto is my dad.
Yeah.
People, it's an appearance thing on there. Everything's so superficial on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're like, you look like a man, bro. You look like his grandma, bro. You look like his mom. You look like his sister. You're too old to be his daughter. He's like 20 years old. I'm like, first off, Google. He's 50.
He's in his 50s.
He's like 52.
Yeah.
I'm 26. He
Your-
could be my dad. He's
your-
older than my mom.
Your mother and father are not even that old.
No,
Yeah.
I'm like, he's older than my mom.
Yeah.
I think he might be similar age to my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And and it was a joke. And people were like, you're just saying this to get people to follow you. And I'm like, really the only reason I'm saying it. I kept taking it for myself, which I need to learn how to not have to like explain myself. But I was like, the only reason I'm saying this is because people on my TikTok say it all the time. Like people say I look like all kinds of people.
Yeah.
They're like, you look like Monica from Friends. You look like Jared Leto. You look like Jim Carrey. You look like Caitlyn Jenner. You look like
Whoever.
there's so many celebrities that I am told that I look like in daily life too.
And why can't I just look like myself? Why do I always have to look like someone?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't care about that, but I was just making a joke because I just thought the Jared Leto one was funny. And I didn't even know who he was until someone said that. Really, I knew I've seen him in movies, but I didn't know like his name. He's not like an A-list celebrity to me.
He's not one that I don't think of him in the same way I think of like Brad Pitt.
Right.
You know?
But that video got like 7 million views, which was insane to me on Instagram.
And there were
I'd
so
never
many,
had a video get that many views on Instagram.
there were so many people in the comments. This is fake. It's not really his daughter. I looked it up. Okay, congratulations.
shit.
Dude, that's the joke, dude. Like,
No shit.
calm down, man.
Yeah.
Calm down. Or it's like those Kermit memes. Okay, it'd be like if someone commented was like, "This was never on the Muppets. Trust me, I've checked." Okay, congrats, dude. It's a freaking meme, dude.
I know. I'm like, the
God.
fact that you have to say this is stupid. But I gained a lot of followers over that. I think that
Yeah.
video maybe pushed my other stuff out too, and that helped me gain followers from other reels because I had been posting all of my content that I post on TikTok for a long time on Instagram. But that's when I gained a lot of followers. So
Yeah.
I've tied them to that video. I'm like, well, they're just following me because they think I'm Jared Leto's daughter for real. Like, I've fooled people. Like, I actually tricked people.
And I had to tell you, no, honey, no one thinks you're Jared Leto's daughter. Everyone knows it's cap. It's fake.
But then you have those idiots commenting that,
True.
But Rachel from The Bachelorette followed me.
Oh yeah, you told me that. Rachel,
and I was
the pilot from
yes,
from her and Gabby had this season. Yeah,
and I love The Bachelor, Batch Nation. I love it.
I love that.
Live to watch it.
I love it too.
It makes my day every time I watch it. But I remember telling Spanky, I was like, oh my God. I was like, this has to be a mistake. She's going to unfollow me when she realizes what she's done. Like, this was a mistake. Like, she was scrolling through Reels and she hit my profile by accident.
It had to be an accident, of course.
I was like, this is a total accident. And I was like, well, or she thinks that I actually am Jared Leto's daughter. And she like thinks he's hot or something. I don't know.
And I was like, honey, she's smart enough to fly planes. I don't think she's dumb enough to think you're Jared Leto's daughter.
Right. And so, but I ended up DMing her because I was like, I can't not say something like, and so I was like, I cannot believe you're following me. And she was like, oh my God, I love you. You're my Roman Empire. We ordered a cameo. And I was like, what? I was like, I told her exactly what I said to you two. I was like, I told my husband that you probably thought I was actually Jared Leto's daughter. I don't know if you even saw that video, but, and she was like, LOL, no, I've been watching your stuff for a long time. And I was so flattered by that.
Flattering.
Cool. That's like the first time that's ever happened where someone followed me besides Chelsea Lynn.
She's really cool on the show too.
That like I really liked, like that I see as a celebrity.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But
you had Billie Eilish like one of your really early videos too. That was cool.
Yeah, she liked the Circle K.
Yeah,
Circle K. That was crazy.
That was crazy. That was early too.
Yeah.
That was back when we were in Chattanooga.
That was wild.
That was pretty cool, man. Billie Eilish, fan of the show.
That was amazing.
Shout out Billie Eilish, good music.
Yeah. The early ones, that's when like Zachariah, I followed him. I don't know if he follows Zachariah.
See the Vine guy, the guy who came over from Vine?
No, that was Alex.
Yeah.
Which I like him too. And then like Abby and what is her husband's name? Abby and I don't know. They have the daughter named Poot. They like commented on that video. I was so starstruck at the beginning. I was like, all these people are seeing my video, and I've been watching their videos for a whole year.
Alex Morrison, he was an early fan of the show.
Yeah, that was cool. That was like that's like one of the coolest things about it is like, wow, people genuinely liked it.
It's a chance to meet some really interesting people as well. Really cool folks.
It is. And we've met a lot of really cool people.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of really good friends that I text regularly that I've never actually seen in person, which is weird.
It's pretty cool.
But I feel like I have because I watch their videos.
Yeah.
I know them.
And some of them you have seen in person, like Chelsea Lynn, you've seen in person. What's her name?
I don't know.
Someone else. But I don't know. But anyway, some of them you meet in person, and
some of them I do.
Down to earth.
Lauren.
That was it. Yeah.
Yes.
She was cool.
I love Lauren. She's so nice.
Facebook mom.
Yes.
I put the babies down for a nap because they was colicky. Yeah.
Thank you, Princess. Princess sent me a train. That was so nice. Thanks.
I haven't even seen the train.
I have never seen that either. It caught my eye out of the corner. So we kind of mentioned old time hockey, but we didn't mention, speaking of like celebrities.
Yeah.
Old time hockey commented back to Taylor on one of his videos.
That's
and he looks at it every day.
Oh my God.
It was back in June.
It was this video where he's in the Cedar Swamp, which they're up, in the Upper Peninsula.
Thank you guys.
And he was like, "Hey buddy, how about a fully balanced breakfast?" And he just heats up the skillet, throws on some sausages and French toast and all that. And while it's cooking, he's playing his little Game Boy, which he does a lot in his videos. He plays like vintage games and stuff too. And he's playing The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, which is this old. They remade it actually for the Switch. I'd like to get it. And
absolutely,
I played it
on your Christmas list.
Maybe I will. I played it on Game Boy, just old school Game Boy Color. If you can imagine, this had to have come out 25 years ago, conservative estimate, if not a little more. And I would play it on our old Game Boy that me and my brothers shared. I loved that game. God, when I beat it, I felt so accomplished.
Invincible.
It took years. It took so long. so long. But anyway, he was playing that game, and I commented on the post, and I was like, I said, awesome choice of game.
Mm-hmm.
And he commented back and said, thanks, buddy.
And you look at it every
I
damn
look
day.
at it all the time. And what's so funny is where I commented, said, excellent game choice. That got like 10 likes. And then where he commented, thanks, buddy, that got like 200. And I was like,
Yeah.
God, this guy's such a king.
Such a Giga
love
Chad.
that guy. Yeah, he's really cool. And he'll do that, though. He'll go all through the post.
And he reads the comments.
He'll reply to like 10 comments. Not on every post, obviously, but he'll like go through and honestly, his page is very overwhelmingly positive. I don't think I've seen very many negative comments on there.
He has cultivated that type of
that environment.
it's really nice.
And maybe for all I know, maybe he goes in and does get mean comments. And he just deletes them, or they're at the bottom, and because he gets a lot of comments anyway. But it seems like the vibe on his page, he's really blessed to have cultivated something very positive. And I really think it's
I want to emulate that.
Yeah, I'm like, how do you do it though? Because we try to be positive, and we don't. We still get some hate.
I feel like I clap back too much.
That might have something to do with it, but still.
Yeah.
But anyway, shout out Old Time Hockey. If we can meet anyone else on TikTok, that would, oh my God, that'd be up at probably the top of my list, honestly, because he's just the man.
I want to meet Airsoft Fatty. I cannot believe he answered my DM. Do y'all know Airsoft Fatty?
Bigger on YouTube, I think, than he was way before TikTok.
He is a Jedi.
Yeah.
I want to have a lightsaber fight with him.
Yeah.
Suit.
Just don't go full force. That's the thing. He was playing with his buddy, and he got like hit in the finger. And he was like, "Oh, you went full force," because it like hurts.
He has this music video singing
so
Country
funny.
Road, and it's like his tit
Country
is in
Roads.
it. It's like he's breast. Somebody said, "I feel like I'm being breastfed" in the comments,
Which
and that
I
like
don't look
lives in my head.
I don't look at that as a negative comment though, because I really
It
feel like he
wasn't.
was going for something like that. And
I think that's totally what he was wanting out of that.
Yeah, I definitely think so. He definitely has some content, especially his old stuff that's like that. That's just hilarious.
Airsoft Fatty is from Michigan as well, so we can just do a double stop. We can meet Old Time Hockey and we can meet Airsoft Fatty. But he's from a different part of Michigan. He's from like
He's from the Lower Peninsula, and then
Yeah.
Old Time Hockey is Fritz. He's from the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah.
But I'd really, really like to go to the Upper Peninsula, honestly.
Yeah, I don't really want to go where Airsoft Fatty lives. It looks just like where we are right now.
It's just like here, but colder, I think. That's where our
Thank you,
friend is
Tammy.
from.
Thank you guys for all the gifts.
We have a friend from Michigan as well, and he said that it's not dissimilar to here. It's just a lot colder.
Yeah. Yeah, Old Time Hockey is cool. I'm like, it's always fun when you get a reply from someone you really, really like.
It really, I'm married to a TikToker, and sometimes I'll help out on your account, and reply or do whatever, and mod the comments and stuff. But it's just different whenever you have like your own little niche account that you really, really like, and you get engagement from the creator. I think that's so cool. So special.
Yeah.
Well, hello, buddy.
Well, hello, buddy. Now I'm gonna let you lead this because this is your thing.
Okay, cool. I found this really cool map. I have no idea how peer-reviewed this is, or even if it's real. But we're gonna pretend it is because I found it on Instagram.
It's really interesting.
Favorite pizza topping by state.
Speaking of Michigan, what is Michigan's?
Why don't you take a guess?
Anchovies or something nasty like that.
It's actually sausage.
Oh.
Sausage is the second most common pizza topping by state.
I don't like sausage on my pizza.
And it seems like most of it is out kind of in the West. The sausage states include Washington, Idaho, Montana, Utah.
Very nice.
As well as Michigan. Number one, what do you think number one topping is?
Pepperoni.
Yes, pepperoni. Although plain cheese isn't on here, but yeah, pepperoni. Tennessee's pepperoni. So is Kentucky, Alabama, a couple of our other neighbors. Florida, Texas, New York. But anyway, do you have any guesses for the third most common pizza topping?
God bless America. Did you hear that?
That was a big one. Yes, I did hear it.
Wait, what was the question?
Third most common pizza topping by state.
Mushrooms.
Yes. Yes.
No way.
Can you guess a state where that might be the number one?
No.
Nebraska,
I love mushrooms.
Indiana, Ohio, Missouri, Maryland. Okay. But there's not that many, it doesn't seem. Actually, I should say mushrooms is tied with the number 4, if you could possibly guess that.
Banana peppers.
I wish. That's probably my favorite right there.
I do love banana pepper on my pizza.
Banana peppers, dude, on a pizza. pizza. Oh my gosh, I like that. That's my favorite. Number 4 is actually black olives.
Okay, that makes sense. Specifically,
Mississippi, Wisconsin.
banana peppers on thin crust.
See, you like thin crust. I like a thicker crust, but I just really like bread, I think. I just love eating
I like a
bread
thick crust
unhealthy.
too, but I love banana peppers on a thin crust with pepperoni.
That does sound pretty good right now, I'm not going to lie. Thin crust can be pretty good. Yeah, black olives is up in Wisconsin, Mississippi, New Hampshire, New Jersey.
Juicy.
And then after that is bacon. Bacon on a pizza is good. Bacon on a pizza is slept on.
I don't seek it out.
Really?
No.
I kind of prefer it to pepperoni. Kind of prefer it because it's a lot more bite size. You bite the pepperoni and then it drags off and it takes some of the cheese with it. These bacon bits, you don't have none of that. to
Unless
worry
it's like
about.
little bite-sized ones like on a Totino's pizza.
Oh, that's good. But I don't ever see those except on Totino's.
Yeah, I don't like Totino's pizzas anymore. I have trauma related to them.
That's right. Maybe we'll get into that on a future pod if you guys want to hear about Sarah's Totino pizza
Trauma.
trauma. But yeah, bacon slept on, highly slept on. Georgia, South Dakota, and Iowa, bacon states. And next up would probably blow your mind. I'm not even gonna have you guess it because we could be here a while. Corn.
Corn on a pizza? I've never
Corn.
heard of that.
That's what this one says, man. It says it's the common in West Virginia and Pennsylvania, but I don't know if anyone who's watching the pod or sees this on TikTok at some point can tell me corn on pizza. That's a thing. I would have thought maybe out west with like more of a Tex-Mex kind of influence, but it's not. It's West Virginia,
West Virginia.
Pennsylvania. The next ones are weird as well. Avocado.
I've never had
And
avocado on my pizza either.
Kind of sounds good.
This is
I
after
like avocado.
the corn. I don't think this is real.
Oh, it's gonna get weirder. It's gonna get significant.
Someone made this up. Someone rolled over, scratched their ass, and typed random shit into a computer and posted it, and it went viral, and that's why we're here.
Perhaps. Okay, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. And then number 8 and number 9 are tied, one state apiece. Number 9, which is the less weird of the two, is carrots.
No, see,
in New
this is
Mexico.
no.
Carrots.
This is fake.
That sounds healthy though. That sounds like something you would do, quite frankly.
I don't like carrots that much, though. Why would I put it on a pizza?
It's healthy. Carrots. That's
Ew.
insane. I wonder if they're like diced or are they just cut. It's gotta be diced, right?
Oh, it sounds weird. I don't think this is legit.
And the weirdest. And if anyone in the comments or who finds our silly little podcast can tell me who in the hell is eating this, I would love to know. Because
Because we don't know. We don't get it.
Minnesota, according to this map, Minnesota's favorite topping for pizza is tuna. Tuna fish.
This is all bullshit.
So if anyone can point me to an actual tuna pizza,
The person that created this is
what it
playing a
says.
prank, and they're letting people like you read it in depth, and you're going to memorize it, and they're going to bring it up in conversation, and someone's
Yeah.
going to be like, no, that's not true, and they're going to Google it, and they're going to actually be right about you. They're going to be like, that wasn't true, you're spreading lies, and you're going to look like a fool, and that's the goal of this post.
okay, fine. I didn't expect to be came forward to this extent, but if someone in the comments can show us a tuna flavored pizza and tag you in it, then
Someone
we'll
said, I
know.
love corn on pizza. No, you don't.
Corn on
Don't
pizza.
lie.
I don't know. It doesn't sound bad.
I've never heard.
Corn Julio.
All right, the last thing we got to do is the Q&A for Sue
Okay. Okay.
and Spanky. So, like, can you go get my computadora?
Computadora.
Because I think that's what I'm going to have to look at to get them. I didn't think about this before we started. I'm sorry. I opened a Q&A, which y'all are always welcome to ask questions that you want me to answer on my podcast on, if you have any that you may be asking me over and over and I don't answer. So just want to throw that out there. That's all in my link tree on my bio. So you
Can they hear
always-
me?
Yes. All right. Computadora. Oh my God.
Excuse me. Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to wake you up, Winston.
Someone said they have a question but put their phone number. I don't really want to do a call.
Nah.
I wanted it to be kind of like
This is our low key night.
Yeah.
This is low key. Phone calls or not. I can't get over this ginger ale. This was a good freaking cold pop.
Someone said, "Will y'all ever come out with a Sue and Spanky phone case merch?"
Oh man, a case.
We could.
Be cool.
I didn't know that was something that was wanted.
Happy to.
Happy to, yeah.
However you design them.
We haven't created Sue and Spanky merch yet.
There's Sue merch and there is a limited amount of Spanky merch.
Yeah, per request. And now we're getting crew necks of everything, of every design, because somebody asked for that.
Heck yeah.
I
Looking
have bumper
forward to it.
stickers. Sue Dillon 2024 bumper stickers. I don't have any Sue and Spanky merch yet. I'm trying to get more momentum under our podcast before we make merch. But maybe one day.
I like it.
All right. This says, "Hey, so this is a second question. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of you guys both. I enjoy watching your videos and your content.
Both?
Yeah.
Right on.
People love you, Spanky." They say, "What goal do you and Spanky want to accomplish in the next few years?" Do you want me to go?
Yeah, please.
I think a goal of us that we have as a couple is to graduate
Yes.
and travel
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
We want to travel to Europe. We want to go to Greece. We want to go to Iceland. We want to go to Germany.
Germany would be great.
We'd love to go to Italia.
Want to go to Maine, Michigan's Upper Peninsula?
Yes, we want to visit more places in the U.S.
Definitely.
We want to go to some of the national forests. I don't know
Yeah.
why I had to pause.
I'd love to go to some of the national parks.
That's kind of our goals as a couple, I think, within the next few years.
Definitely. I think that's mine as well. I think it lines up.
Yeah. Someone said, "Who was interested first, you or Spanky?"
Spanky. Spanky was interested first. Whenever we met, I noticed her from across the room, and I knew I had to go up and talk to her. And I remember that conversation well, and she doesn't remember it at all.
I do remember it vaguely, but I don't remember. I was so anxious
Right.
because it was
Well,
RA training.
you were in your first semester of RA training, and I had been there before, so I was certainly more comfortable than you, and you were probably just trying to not,
I was trying to make friends. And
try not to black out from the stress.
mm-hmm.
Which, looking back, when we were going through RA training, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna go through a hypothetical scenario of what could happen in the dorm room," and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so stressful." And now looking back, I'm like, "This was a joke."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then you told the girls I worked with, because I worked in a women's dorm.
Mm-hmm.
You told that you were friends with the girls I worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Those skanks. I hope that they hear this. I do not like them. They were bullies to me. But at the beginning we were friends.
It was a whole thing.
But one of them actually messaged me on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
So, which that one I never really had much of a problem with. But the other
My
ones
voice cracked.
didn't. Anyway, I'm going to get myself into drama, so I should probably just shut up.
Time out. If we may take a quick sojourn back to Verner's, I think this might please you. Produced under the authority of Dr. Pepper.
What?
That's
why
you
it's
like
so
it.
good.
That's why it's so good, dude.
Damn. But yeah, Spanky told the girls I worked with, and they were like, "You will never believe who has a crush on you." And I was like, "I just don't know." And I kept guessing the wrong people.
You're like, maybe it's the guy I've been hanging out with not infrequently for the past month.
That was before this.
Oh, was it?
Before we
Oh.
hung out.
Oh.
He had long locks, curly hair.
I had a really long head of hair back in the day, man. Back in my wild youth.
Mm-hmm.
I looked like the actual Spanky.
But the first time we dated, you definitely made the first move. But the second time we dated, I made the first move, so we're even.
That's true. That's true. It's evened out.
I was sitting in my friend's apartment in college. You had graduated because I was a semester behind.
I graduated on time somehow.
I was late. I didn't get into nursing school the first time I applied.
I did.
I know. I was a transfer student, and they did not give transfer student preferences. My grades were great, and I'm convinced that's the only reason why.
Yeah.
But
they had a whole process.
And they were like, "Well, your anatomy came from another college." I was an anatomy TA at that college. that I didn't get a nursing school at. So, I mean, I obviously knew it. But anyway, it really hurt my ego, but that's why I was late.
Yeah.
I was sitting with my friends and Jordan, who was supposed to come to our wedding, but she had COVID and she couldn't come. She was a bridesmaid, but
COVID wedding. That happens.
she was like, wonder what Taylor Gray's doing. I was like, I don't know, let's see. I think I still have his number. I could see if I could find him on social media. You didn't have anything. You know, I didn't find your Instagram easily.
Right.
You didn't have Facebook. But you did have Snapchat. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna add him. And then you added me back, and I remember we were watching some movie, some Disney movie. Do you remember which one?
I don't remember.
Was it Emperor's New Groove?
No, because I told you, because that was right when Disney Plus became a thing. And I was like, oh,
I forgot
the first
what it
one
was.
I'll watch is Emperor's New Groove. And you were like, oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. And I remember Snapchatting you, and we just kept hanging out, and like then we just started dating, and then we got married.
And now we're podcasting.
Yeah. So
I hear the train again. I hear the train coming.
someone asked on my TikTok comments, because I like promoted this on my story. They're wondering when we're gonna have a little miniature Sue Dillon.
Oh. We already have 2. The boys.
The boys.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I mean, just whenever the time is right, really. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like, the time's right now, but
No, it doesn't feel like the right time right now. But I do want to have kids one day.
oh yeah, me too. I don't think it'll be too long.
No, maybe a couple of years at most.
We have a lot of plans to do before then, so
Yeah.
depends on when that stuff.
We just want to travel and live as a married couple for a little bit longer.
I also feel like we should save more before having a child.
Yes.
Save more money.
Yes.
Just put yourself in a really more comfortable financial situation before you do that.
Yeah.
If you can, obviously.
Yeah. I agree.
That's my goal.
Same. I don't know how much you should have saved up, but I would just have this figure in my head. I'm like, 60 grand.
God.
I would feel so good with 60 grand.
It's going to be a minute.
Because when we got married, we had 30.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't have that much right now. Not trying to air our dirty laundry, but we're getting there.
We also grew up.
We bought a house, and it kind of like took a toll on the savings a little bit.
When we were both growing up to varying degrees and at varying times, we did not have like a family that was very, economically comfortable. And I feel like we want for our kids to kind of have what we didn't have. Not to be brats or spoiled or anything, but just to, not have to think about money in the way we thought about it. I feel
Yeah.
like.
No, like, I don't ever want to tell my kids, like, I'm sorry, I can't afford it.
Right.
I don't know.
That'd be hard.
It would be hard. It builds character to not get everything you want, and I don't want to give my kids
yeah.
everything they want.
No, screw them.
Right. But I don't want to be sitting at the dinner table with my kid, busting open their allowance, piggy bank,
Right.
counting all the quarters to pay the electric bill to turn the power back on.
Can't even imagine.
No. Someone said, we've kind of already answered this, how do you do your voice for long periods of time?
I feel like the secret to long periods of time, you drink tea and you do like, some other small little knickknacks to keep yourself going.
Yeah, drink water because it dries out.
Mm.
Keep it moist.
Interesting. Keep it lubricated.
Yeah, you kind of have to control your breath when you do it. And I don't do long live shows. Like, I don't go live with Sue every day because it would be bad.
Yeah.
I do it once a week.
That would be a lot of
Full
work
throttle.
to go live with Sue every day.
Let's see. That might have been the last one.
Cool.
Let me see. Say something to take up. Someone said, what do you like oh, Tammy. Tammy Warwick. I love that bitch. She's so sweet. She said, what do you like most about being Sue Dillon? I definitely like to make people laugh, and that's the whole reason I do it still.
I love that answer.
I know everyone doesn't laugh because I know somebody's going to be like,
People don't really think it's funny. I don't think it's funny.
Me
Some
and
people
my
do.
friend watched one and we didn't laugh at all.
Some people think it's funny, and that's why I keep doing it.
There you have it, folks.
Ooh. Question: as a kid, did you get spanked or got a switch to your butt as a kid? Today, people are scared to spank and think it's child abuse. I was spanked and got the switch a couple of times. I grew up in the 70s, 80s. I learned to respect and behave. Yes, I got my ass beat.
You got it a lot. You might
I
have gotten
got-
a little too much.
Yeah. My dad wasn't in his right mind sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
And me and my sister literally got beat, like bruises and stuff. But but I still got whooped like after that. Like didn't mean that they were going to touch me, even though like that was traumatic for me from getting beat with a belt, getting just smacked so damn hard you get bruises put on your butt. But definitely have been whooped. My mom whooped me when I was like 16 with a belt, like for something stupid. So yes, I did get whooped. My grandma kept a hickory in the pew at church, and if you acted up, you went to the basement in that church, and that was freaky as flip.
I
down
can
there.
imagine.
It was like cobblestones in the basement of the church, dark, never turned the light on. There was a flashlight she would bring or something like that. I don't know. There was like some kind of light. There was no iPhones or flip phones at the time with flashlights.
Not in that town.
No. And she would take us there. It was so cold down there, and she would just
tear you up. It's terrifying.
But like when they did that, it was scary when you were a kid, but like they didn't hit us so hard that we were going to be injured.
Of course.
I don't think that's wrong to be like disciplined. Did you get whooped?
I think I was spanked once. I just didn't.
You just learned your lesson.
I guess. I mean, I wasn't a perfect kid, but I would get grounded. And there would be punishments, but I guess it depends on the kid too.
Yeah. I definitely deserved it. I was stubborn sometimes.
Right. I feel you. There's different ways to parent.
Yeah. I don't think that it's child abuse to a certain extent. Like I think it could be.
Yeah.
If you go a certain level with it.
I think it could be.
And as someone who's received both ends of the spectrum, no, I don't think it's wrong to whoop your kid. I think it's needed. But that is a controversial topic.
Yeah.
And I don't judge people for not whooping their kid. Like you do what you think you should do.
No, it worked on me.
I just don't want my kids to be scared of me. You know, I don't want.
Of course.
But I think there's a healthy level, like a tap on the butt when they're young.
Right.
But once you get so old, I think like spanking a teenager is a little weird.
Yeah, I think it's not going to work at that point anyway.
It's
So
just
why
gonna make them
bother?
mad at you and like hate you.
There's no need for that. Now, I will say, when I was a little kid, I would like go to the grocery store and I would touch everything, and my mom would kind of slap my hands.
Yeah.
You know, to kind of keep me from touching so much stuff because it was germy and gross.
Yeah. But yeah, you can always submit questions to this if you want.
Please do.
I feel like it's a southern thing to get spanked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anybody from the north. And well, I do, but I've never asked them.
Yeah. I
Did
bet
you
if
get
you
spanked?
I bet if you broke it down by state or by region, the South might be more represented by that. Hey, Winston.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking. I think we're about done with the questions.
Cool.
But yeah, you can always submit. You know, this was kind of like a free ball it podcast, but I really enjoyed this one with
This was
you.
good. I enjoyed this a lot too.
It was really fun.
Good pod.
Good pod. You can watch it every Wednesday at 10 a.m. in the morning on any podcast streaming app or we're like way overdue. On any podcast streaming app or on YouTube if you want to watch the video. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment your drink of choice that you think we should try. Something new. Let us know.
Peace.
Peace out.